So next we will discuss how to calculate inverse Laplace transform. So previously we have seen several direct formulas that you could apply to calculate this Laplace transform. Here we will generally define this into three categories. One is the perfect square, where you complete the square and then you could apply the direct formula. The second case is you apply this partial fractions and you separate out the terms and then apply the direct formulas. And third one is you apply the convolution theorem. So we will study all these things. So firstly, here let me discuss how do we apply this partial fractions. So that is the task now. For that, what we will do, this you might already know how to apply partial fractions onto various fractions, but let me give you a quick glance at it. So suppose the given function of is this form. Suppose you are to calculate Laplace transform of f of s divided by some g of s, right? It would be a function of s, and here when will you apply this Laplace transform? Whenever the degree of the denominator g of s is greater than the degree of the numerator f of s. So then we shall apply the method of partial fraction prior to applying the direct formulas. Okay. So how do you calculate? So the first rule here is, if your denominator, say g of s, do not contain repeated roots or repeated linear factors, in that case, suppose for example you have this expression, you have to calculate the Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 3, s plus 4 and s plus 5. So it would be written like this: a divided by s plus 3 plus b divided by s plus 4 plus c divided by s plus 5. So this is the formula or rule how can you calculate this coefficient. So you equate these two, you substitute the values of s for different values of s, you could obtain the values of a, b, c. So this would just separate out this the kind of expression into the sum of these three expressions. So next, if the denominator, your g of s, contain repeated linear factors, so in that case, what do we do? Suppose for example we have a fraction of this kind, 1 divided by s plus 3 whole square and s plus 4. So this would be equal to a divided by s plus 3 plus b divided by s plus 3 square. So you see, corresponding to this term, square term, you have two factors, and then we have c divided by s plus 4. So the next category here is, if the denominator g of s that contain quadratic factors. For example, it is of this kind, s square plus s plus 2 and then we have s plus 3. So this could be written as, corresponding to this factor, quadratic factor, you would write as as plus b divided by s square plus s plus 1, and corresponding to this linear factor, you could write this to be c divided by s plus 3 kind. Okay. So next we have the fourth case. In the fourth case, if the denominator g of s contains repeated fractions, repeated quadratic factors, then for example in this case you have 1 divided by s square plus 1 whole square s plus 3. So here you see that this quadratic factor is appearing twice, so it would be as plus b divided by s square plus 1, and then you have cs plus d divided by s square plus 1, and so this is corresponding to this factor. So you once have this power as 1, this power as twice here, and this a, b, c and d, they are constants. And then corresponding to this linear factor you would have e divided by s plus 3. So these are simple general rules where by which you could calculate the partial fractions. So now we will see how do we apply these to the questions where we have to solve the Laplace inverse of some quantities. For example, in this question we are asked find the Laplace transform of s plus 1, s plus 2, s plus 3. So the Laplace transform here, the function f of s, that is given to be 1 divided by s plus 1, s plus 2, s plus 3. So firstly what we'll do, we'll apply the partial fractions to it, because all these are linear factors and they are non-repeating. So we can write a divided by s plus 1 plus b divided by s plus 2 plus c divided by s plus 3. So what we can do, we can take the LCM, so it would be a into s plus 2, s plus 3, and then b into s plus 1, s plus 3, and then c into s plus 1, s plus 2. So this thing would be equal to 1 because the denominator would cancel out with each other. So now when you substitute s is equal to minus 1 into this, so left hand side would be 1 here, because this factor is there. So when you substitute minus 1, you have minus 1 plus 1, so this factor would be 0, so this whole term would be 0, and here also because this term is present, so minus 1 plus 1 would be 0, so this term, whole term would be 0. So finally you would have here a into 1 and 2. So the value of a comes out to be 1 by 2, and then when you substitute s is equal to minus 2 here, you would have 1 is equal to 0 plus b into minus 1 into 1 plus 0. So finally your value of b comes out to be minus 1, and the value of c, when you substitute s is equal to minus 3, it comes out to be 1 is equal to 0 plus c into minus 2 minus 1. So that comes out to be c is equal to 1 by 2. So now you have the values of all the constants, so you could substitute it back here into in place of this a, e and c. So your expression now becomes, so Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 1, s plus 2, s plus 3, it now becomes equal to, what was a? A was 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 divided by s plus 1, and then what was b? B was minus 1 divided by s plus 2, and what is the value of c? It is 1 by 2 divided by s plus 3. So that means you have to calculate the Laplace transform of this quantity. Now this is very simple because this is a linear operator, so we can just separate out the terms and take the constants outside. So it would be 1 divided by s plus 1, and then minus 1 Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 2, and then plus 1 by 2 the Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 3. So here using the direct formula, what would be the Laplace inverse of 1 divided by 1 plus s? So now all these Laplace transforms, they would be obtained using these formulas. So using this formula, second formula, so Laplace inverse of 1 upon s plus a, that is equal to e to the power minus at. So from here we obtain the Laplace transform of 1 divided by s plus 1 as equal to e to the power minus t, and then minus 1 as such. Here the Laplace inverse of this term would be e to the power minus 2t, and here 1 by 2 as such, the Laplace inverse of 1 by 3 plus s plus 3, that is equal to e to the power minus 3t. So this is the final answer. So let us quickly see one more question. So the question here is, find the Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 3 s plus 7. So by using partial fraction, you could write this term to be like this: s plus 7 minus s plus 3. So what we are doing, we are separating this term. So we would have this term. So basically when you solve this one, this s and s would get cancelled and 7 minus 3 would be 4. So that is why we have divided here by 4. So what would be this term? So when you separate out them, you would have 1 by 4, Laplace inverse of 1 by 4, and then 1 divided by s plus 3, and then you have minus 1 by 4 and the value of 1 divided by s plus 7. So this is what you have. So now you can very easily use the linearity property to calculate the Laplace transform of these two particular terms. So it would be Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus 7. So finally, using the shifting property, first shifting inverse of this shifting property, your final answer would be 1 by 4 e to the power minus 3t, and then minus 1 by 4 e to the power minus 7t. So this is the final answer, and this is the inverse Laplace transform of function. So now there is one question that you could solve. The question says you have to calculate the Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s square plus 1 into s minus 2. So this is an exercise question. You could try this by yourself.